Hello and welcome, Star Wars players, to Game 2 of the first semifinal match here of the Champions League between MHT, Matthew Harrison Trainer, and Anthony Howard, aka Batmouse. And I am joined once again by the one, the only Garrett Larson, aka Dead Body. Welcome, Garrett. No worries. I let them know the stream is ready. Um, I expect they should be ready to start almost any time. Garrett, it's only been 2 days, but coming into this match, MHT is up 11. And what's your prediction for what we're about to see? Yeah. I'm fairly certain I know what MHT is playing. So I think
Return the stolen butterfly.
yeah, agreed. Oh, wow. I actually didn't heard the results. Apparently, sorry, I've been. Garrett is. They're having hard. I don't. I've not changed a single setting on my computer since Monday, but they're having. They cannot hear you, so I'm just trying to deal with the settings. Bear with me for a moment. I don't think it's you.
Because every once in a while stuff just likes to be funky. Well, that might have changed things. I just apparently I put a cover over my camera.
Oh, yes. All right.
There's apparently a little slidey thing there that I had shut. I didn't remember shutting. Well, I'll just sort of keep talking, and they can say when they can hear me. So, because yeah, I don't have a great way to monitor chat, unfortunately, without Streamlabs and on a single screen. So,
all right. I'm hopeful. I just did like two things that I think hopefully fix it. And someone, Jagovski, says he can hear you, but can we get one more confirmation you can still hear Garrett? Okay. We're good. I couldn't tell you this. My computer sometimes has a mind of its own, but yeah, I didn't close the programs and I didn't do anything between Monday and tonight. So I just figured I'll start it back up. We should be working. Who knows? It has something to do with the fact that I'm on a Mac. I had to go in because I have to run some secondary plug-in to like carry the audio through from you, and it like forgot my headphones existed. So I had to disconnect them, reconnect them, and then change the order of them in the output for the microphones. And hey, we're working now. But I'm kind of shocked that actually worked and very relieved. That's fair. Oh God. Something happened. Now they can't hear you again. Okay.
We're going to get to the end of this, and it's going to be someone hit mute, and the entire problem is one got on mute and doesn't realize why he can't hear anyone.
Yeah, it's who knows. Okay, they can hear you again, and everything here's okay, guys. Or here's okay, sounds okay. All right, we're good. I'm not touching another setting on my computer.
Don't touch anything. So,
yeah. All right. I have no idea what people heard or didn't hear, and I've repeated myself enough times. Batmouse needs to win by 12 or 11 with lost piles, and I don't have my little handy note paper I keep on my computer at home that I've scribble down lost pile counts. So I believe MHT was ahead by 15-ish or so in lost pile count as well. So Batmouse needs to win, and I think he needs to take an aggressive line. That being said, I do see Batmouse has logged in, so they are both here. I would expect the game will start shortly, and we will see. To an extent, this will depend a little bit on Matthew's deck. If Matt has the deck that can handle Batmouse and what Batmouse is doing, it's going to be a slog to try and win by 11. If Matt did not expect this deck from Batmouse, he could certainly win by that.
Agreed. I just checked. It was a 17 lost pile differential.
Okay, I think I said 15-ish, so we're in the realm. So it looks like they are ready. So I just said the stream is ready on our end, at least until they stop being able to hear one or both of us again. So we should see a game.
This is actually the most analog solution to this problem ever. When they could hear you is when I turned my headphones off and thought I was reconnecting them. You just came through my computer speakers, and that's just how they're hearing you. Like you're broadcasting through my computer into my microphone.
You know what? If it works, it works.
That's how I feel.
There are times where you just say, you know what?
We'll take it. They said they can hear you.
I'm not questioning. I'm not asking why.
Exactly. So, as soon as they said again, they could hear you. It's like, oh, this is definitely what it is. And I asked again if it sounded okay, so we're safe. So we're just waiting on the game to post at this point.
And it has posted.
Oh,
we've got Indoor Operations versus. So Batmouse is on We Have a Plan. And MHT is on Indoor Operations, starting any methods necessary. If Matt can't find Decree early enough, Batmouse can definitely win this game by a bunch.
And I don't think Matt historically does not like playing Decree. So I think it's very possible he doesn't have Decree in this list. I actually haven't seen the final iteration of this, but I don't believe he submitted a list with Decree. But I actually, so I've been playing WAP a lot in the last year, and I've only played this matchup once or twice. But in general, I do think you're somewhat weak to Force Lightning decks. So if Matt's playing like a 3 Force Lightning build, it could be challenging for Batmouse.
Agreed. And that would be the question. Is Matt playing the multi-Force Lightning build, or is he playing the more straightforward, just a pile of mains that threatens a bunch of damage on Endor and runs at you with mains? Because WAP handles that kind of deck fairly well. You know, like if Matt's running Force Lightning, you're right. This could get ugly if Matt just fry sizzles Padme and calls it a day. But
if he's not, then I generally agree with you. I've been thinking a lot about WAP against different decks, and EOPS is probably the best, if not best 2 or 3 possible dark sides right now. And I've thought it's like if you can flip, you actually can probably fight them fairly profitably, but it's going to be a slog, I think, on either side. I actually think 11 is, regardless of Force Lightning or not, I think 11 is going to be a tall order for Anthony to win by 12 or more.
And I think it'll depend a little bit on how Matt plays it, because like you said, you don't have a ton of familiarity in the matchup. You just haven't played it a lot yet. If Matt is in the same boat and he makes a mistake, Anthony might be able to take advantage of it. Again, I think WAP generally handles mains decks pretty well. The flip, Batmouse isn't necessarily counting on drawing multiple Destiny that often. I mean, he's basically leadership's the only way he's going to draw more than one.
Or Rex. Yeah.
He's counting on stopping you from drawing. And all those 7s get real bad real quick. if Batmouse can get flipped and just keep that presence at the throne room. So it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, and how quickly, if at all, does Matt just go hard to the throne room? Because depending on his hand, he may be able to contest a flip. And there are times with WAP where you have really character-light draws, and it can be somewhat challenging. Like you may have just General Kenobi or something like that. To where, depending on how much Darkseid goes to the throne room, you have to decide, is it even worth trying to flip or not?
So, and Matt took Boba Fett and Slave One with DNA methods necessary. He did not take Forlom, which makes me think this is probably not the Force Lightning deck. Simply because with that, you really want to be Forloming right away. You want to be tracking those high destinies. You want to get them back right away. So,
no, he just knew he would draw
as the
Forlom.
opening, yeah, or he just knew he was going to open hand him, and why not? So,
I don't know
the
if that
interesting thing with
necessarily
Boba Fett,
means he's
though,
not
is-
playing the Force. Sorry to interrupt. I don't think that necessarily means that. I think it might think that he knows space is going to be very important to this matchup. I either want to be able to contest in space or run away in space, and so I want to guarantee that I have the Slave One.
And in this case, if I'm Batmouse, I'm not sure I put another system out. Like, I think with Navy, if he can get Yularen on the ship and just stack it long term, I think he's in a better position to hold one system than Matt.
Fundamentally, I agree with you. The issue is he's only activating 8 at the moment. And so Camino and the 2-0 bumps him up to 12, and then 1 on each turn is 14. The 14 versus 10 is a substantial difference. I don't think that he can play this game without deploying Camino, to be honest with you.
It would be a stretch. I think you're right there. That it would be a much more difficult game without Camino. But if he open-handed the 2-0,
yeah, in that if that happens, then you can be patient. If he open-handed the 2-0, you can definitely be patient. But that when that happens with WAP, I feel so good, and it happens infrequently. I mean, like maybe once every 2 tournaments.
Yeah, there's not a guarantee. There's still a lot of moving parts, even in a deck like WAP that has sort of a setup you go for. There's still a lot of moving parts and a lot of lines you have to decide on.
Yeah,
where you go here.
I actually think this is another just interesting deck building decision in that Anthony chooses to just go ahead and start Galactic Navy. The list I played at Vegas and Columbus, well, at Columbus you could start Wackling, so obviously I was starting that. But for Vegas, I tested a few games with Navy alone and didn't feel like I was activating enough. And Sam Tashima had the same feedback, and I also just threw out a list with the life form combo and 1 docking bay, and we both found that to be very effective. So I'm just curious, like how many games Anthony has played with this deck.
And I'm not sure. I know he's been playing a chunk on the team side. Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, so that's another example. Like, you want to lead with a Jedi.
Yeah, you there's no need to put Amidala there because you can just deploy her to the throne room after you Ascension Guns a Jedi over. Putting just Amidala there is asking her to get beat down.
It's okay. Well, I was like, it's possible maybe he didn't have another character. He should have for certain led with Qui-Gon. I also don't like starting the effect that he's starting instead of Jedi Business, because now that they have changed the deploy on Qui-Gon up 1, deploy 7 is substantial. When he was deploy 5 before the errata, it almost felt like you were cheating deploying such a good character for 5. 6 with Jedi Business seems completely reasonable, but I disagree with not having that as your effect.
So Jedi Business is not in the deck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I think that's a deck building error.
And it is, and we'll see later. Anthony submitted the wrong version of the deck.
Oh, it's like literally a deck player.
The deck he wanted to play had Jedi Business. Somehow, the one he submitted was an older version that was still walkling legal. So he is floating a walkling in this deck that he cannot play.
Oh, okay. I did know there was some sort of issue. I didn't know the specifics of what happened.
Yeah, and that was the issue. So he wanted to put in walkling. He wanted to play walkling, or not play walkling. He wanted to play Jedi Business, and could not. Would have taken a 5 differential penalty, and chose ahead of the game 1 result. Like, he knew this beforehand. He said he didn't want to take that 5 penalty. He'd play it as written and just have a dead card. And
okay,
that's a little unfortunate.
Well, that makes more sense too, in that if he was working off the wrong file, having the walkling still in addition to no Jedi Business, like, that's exactly what I was starting before the erratas went through. So that stinks. I've been on the bad side of a similar weird GIMP penalty, and it's not a good feeling. In this instance, I actually think he totally made the right choice. If it's a you can play as submitted or take a 5 diff penalty, I think given the nature of his mistake, I would have for sure did what he did. 5 diff is a lot, and it doesn't make his deck like unplayable to do what he's doing. It's unfortunate. Had he sequenced his cards differently last turn, he'd be in a better position though.
Yeah, because I don't know that. In fact, I would say right now, if he starts with Qui-Gon, I don't know that Matt Barrier's Qui-Gon. And even if he does, Batmouse follows with Amidala and moves her into the hallway. And both of those are totally fine options. Like, even if he just doesn't play Amidala and Matt doesn't Barrier Qui-Gon, he moves Qui-Gon into the hallway, he still goes for the flip next turn. Instead, now he's slowed down a turn, and Matt gets another turn to consolidate. And we see the Phantom Menace. There's Ominous Rumors to flip Matt and go get him any one card, or any card with a Death Star 2 or Endor icon. And we see the something special plan for them. So Matt is playing Grabber Heavy here, which makes sense. Okay, so Matt is playing super aggressive as well.
Well, this is like a... Now that Amidala is there, he should... Now that you have Amidala there, it's like, we should go for this. He should...
Oh, I agree.
He'll at least be able to hit her, which now with no walkling means he probably has to find... He may possibly have Unita in his deck or Jedi Lev. And he has to have those to ever potentially flip. Overall, this is like a very net positive play for Matt, I think.
Agreed. But
and the odds of Qui-Gon hitting
without knowing any of the decks, this is absolutely the play I'd make if I was Matt.
Yeah. Qui-Gon may hit Nice that he drew a 5, but WAP's Destiny is notoriously bad. And so, yeah, that's an 8. Yeah. Does that one add targeting Jedi?
Yeah, that site adds 1, so he does hit more.
Okay.
So here's where something like a Sorry About the Mess would be very big. And I want to... Batmouse is thinking of Jedi Leving... Okay. The only reason I could see it sitting that long is he was thinking about Jedi Leving that 3PO, and I'd have reached through the computer and smacked him. All right.
Oh, all right. So he's playing the combo, which is less common nowadays, I feel like, in this deck. Both for the better Destiny, and you don't want to walk into it getting canceled by an imbalance. But this is quite a turn of the tables.
It's still not great for Anthony. Like, the reality of this EOPS deck is the average Destiny is very high. It wouldn't be that hard for 2 Destinies to total 9, and you still have to lose Amidala.
Isn't? Yeah, we'll see.
There's the first one is a 3. Or 5. So 5 and 4 is 9. So
And Qui-Gon forfeits for 9, if I'm correct.
Qui-Gon forfeits for 8.
8?
Unless there's a...
I want to check that. I feel like he's beastly.
Yeah, he's a 7-8.
Okay.
And there's nothing that adds to his forfeit.
Well, then I was wrong. In my mind, Amidala was living. Okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty substantial.
Yeah, that was... That being said, with that freeze for as long as it was on the 3PO, it indicates Batmouse might have a Jedi Lev, which makes it possible that this still ends up being okay, because the card Matt lost to the Qui-Gon Saber hit
was
a Gick.
Yeah. Which I was about to comment on.
He's now got to be real careful.
Like, it does change the complexion of the game. He now, because it's open information, he's lost his Gick.
Yep. And there he drops Battle Order. Don't expect Batmouse will pay to drain here.
I really don't think he can afford to.
Yeah, like
if he does have
anything,
Jedi Lev, it's
dump a bunch of space.
If he does have the Jedi Lev, it's 7 force. Well, it's 4 to get her back, and then he's going to need 3 to deploy her now or subsequent turn. Maybe he's just planning to do this move. I would err on having drawn as many cards as possible while saving as many force as possible. I don't think this 2 force, this drain,
for me, not even 2 force. It's 1.
Oh yeah, that
saber doesn't add to the drain.
I have to assume he thought it did.
Even then, I didn't like it as a drain of 2. I like it way less as a drain of 1. And Matt loses another 4-lom with guns. So Matt was running 2 4-loms. That's unexpected.
I think, like I was saying, he probably more often than not expects that he's going to want the Boba Fett.
And that could be. Like, that's...
Or the Slave One combo.
And there, Batmouse with the "Were you looking for me?" to pull 3PO. And here's the Jedi Lev to take back Amidala. So he'll be able to next turn potentially still flip with Amidala and Qui-Gon in the throne room, plus whatever else he drew into.
Possibly. I mean, we'll see what Matt has. It wouldn't shock me if he has more Jedi and goes back to the throne room.
Batmouse might not be crushed if he does that, though. Like, short of deploying 2 of them, I could absolutely see if he just deploys 1, Batmouse going, all right, I'll Ascension Guns Qui-Gon in there and pick a fight right away with the plus to the total battle destiny. And just count on Qui-Gon being able to clear multiple guys.
Yeah, I think it's totally hand dependent for Matt. Like, he has to have multiple Jedi and probably like a force field or something else that he feels maybe you are beaten to cancel the battle after he potentially hits. Like, we'll see. Instead, he's opting for Boba Fett, Slave One. You got to expect to see Ozzel move over, take off, and probably maybe a character to one of the indoor sites that'll drain for 2.
Yeah, and that might be Matt just says, look, I don't have enough to contest the throne room. Instead, I'm just going to start threatening to drain for 4 every turn. And that's not a terrible plan. Like, if you want to keep this where you just go, I don't care if I win, I just want to lose by less than a dozen, 4 damage a turn is a good way to win by, make it so the winner is small either way.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, maybe he also just moves over, takes off, and draws some cards. We'll see.
I would not hate that in the least. Like, I almost, having played this EOPS deck quite a bit in previous iterations, I'd rather he move Ozzel over, take off, and just draw. Because if he spends another, call it 6 to drop Maul or Vader at one of those sites, plus another one to move Ozzel and the takeoff. Now you're talking about you only have 7 or 8 cards in hand, and you can start feeling a little hand choked quickly, especially if Batmouse has any ability to go after you where you are. Because Batmouse can go, all right, well, I'll Ascension Guns Qui-Gon, I'll deploy Amidala so I flip and can start canceling Battle Destinies, and then I'll drop Obi-Wan at your site and create a problem, and now you don't have the cards to come back and try for a rebeat.
Yeah, you might have 6 cards or something in your hand.
So, and that might be what Matt is sitting and thinking hard about is if I deploy Choke Vader and I deploy him to Endor, what's my play if Batmouse can kill him? Because Batmouse has 13 cards in hand. He'll have 14 force to work with by the time he activates and then uses the WAP objective again to activate one. All right, Shizor is an interesting choice. I mean, he's probably the cheapest guy Matt had in the deck to deploy and threaten something.
Only being 4 force is definitely good there.
Yeah. And he's slightly better against something like Cody and Rex if Batmouse had that sort of a weird hand where he's going to stop them from drawing. But realistically, most of the characters Batmouse will go after Shizor with are going to be Jedi. You'd see something like a
General Kenobi would be quite nice.
General Kenobi or Fish Dude, Kit Fisto. Like someone like that would probably be about the limit of what Batmouse is going to be going and attacking with.
Or a Mace.
And it's more likely I think Batmouse is going to go, all right, well, I'll flip and move forward with this.
Well, in an ideal world, he flips and then attacks.
Yeah. And that's what I think Matt has to worry about. And I do think Matt putting Shizor down might be him telegraphing that he's got a Dark Time or a Dark Time combo.
Or a barrier.
Yeah. Something to protect so a battle against, if Anthony Ascension Guns Qui-Gon over flips, deploys Amidala on flips, that a single guy in front of Shizor doesn't spell doom for Matt.
Agreed. I mean, Matt has to expect he's going to flip this turn, so he's playing accordingly.
Yeah. And as we said, like Matt flipping this turn and just saying, okay, I'm going to drain for 4, prove you have an answer, isn't a bad idea. Like, Matt needs to put Batmouse on, can you do something to me? Because he's already cost him 1 Amidala. There is Kit Fisto. And looks like no barrier from Matt.
Interestingly, this does kind of leave Anthony exposed in the throne room.
Yeah, I'd really like to see someone else there. Like Jairus Janik or Panaka is kind of important because right now he's got no weapon protection there for Amidala.
Yep.
And he's already burnt the Jedi Lev.
This could have been honestly like a bait play from Matt. Like, will he go for this? He either has to block the drain or do something. And maybe Anthony could have just prioritized, I'm flipping, I'm drawing more cards, I want to go to Camino or attack an Endor. We'll see how this pays off, but I feel like Matt had a plan going for this.
And I agree entirely. And I think Batmouse has used most of what his plan kind of is there. Like Batmouse has 3 force. If he draws nothing, he's saying, well, I might be threatening to cancel a Battle Destiny or something like a Clash of Sabers. But like none of this is great. So, and Batmouse draws a 5 for Battle Destiny, which is nice, but he's not going to overflow Shizor.
Yeah, even if this Destiny is canceled.
And I don't think I bother canceling. Okay, I don't like canceling there.
Yeah, he's immune,
You, you're
and
immune and not causing any battle damage.
so he just used a force for nothing.
Yeah, that's. I know Batmouse played practice games. I think that is one of those. He hasn't played WAP enough to necessarily know some of those decision points where you're like, hey, I don't need to do this. And he just drew one, so he doesn't have a weapon protection for Amidala. If Matt's got something along the lines of there's the leadership to take a admiral or general into hand, and Matt smartly grabs it because that's definitely a card you don't want to leave up there with Navy.
Yes,
Like
agreed. And
Batmouse can't add any, but you don't want him limiting you either.
the nice thing is Matt also has something special. So grabbing leadership on the one that requires force seems like definitely the right call to me. And then he still has a free grabber if Anthony's playing some abusive interrupt. Like often these decks have it could be worse. They might have We're Doomed. They might have Neighbor Leads.
Yeah,
I played Visored Vision at Las Vegas. I mean, things that you can loop between 3PO and Kit Fisto, if they don't have enough grabbers, can just overload the game.
yep. And those are definitely all things that Batmouse could and would likely put in a deck. Like all of those sound like Batmouse plays. So Matt goes for the Endor site that likely wasn't in there to begin with, just seeing what's in his force pile, but also giving Batmouse a full verify. I Okay, he was looking to see what he could get with Blizzard 4. I'm wondering if Anthony dodged a pretty nasty bullet with Matt doing that. Like, that tells me Matt had no way to go at the throne room because that is absolutely where Anthony is weakest right now. Like, that's a. If he had any way to go after it, this would be a spot to do it.
I agree. Unless he now has like a follow up Choke Vader or EPP Maul or something. He
But,
does.
like, why
He
wouldn't you
has.
start with those?
Okay. So yeah, we see
Okay,
him then
so
follow
he's.
up over here. So he's not contesting the throne room.
All right. And that might be he's just saying, look, I'm going to threaten drains of 4 to your drain of 1 you have to pay for and ping of 2.
Yeah, ahead by 12.
Um,
He's like, I'm gonna play it. You said this probably while no one could hear you, but we have to expect Matt to play this game really tight, not to expose himself. And I think you're seeing this right now because he could have very
so,
easily gone to the throne room with Kylo and Ara.
yeah. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure I wouldn't have because I could see Batmouse running Are You Brain Dead here and just saying, oh, you wanted to overflow kit? Nope, that's okay.
If
So
he
there's a.
is playing that, that's an uncommon card in current WAP, so that would be a fairly
It's
tech play.
uncommon in current WAP, but it's very common in Batmouse decks. Like that's a card I would absolutely put Batmouse on in a
Did
deck like this.
did maybe we missed it, but did Batmouse give up a verify? Because it's also possible Matt saw that he
I
didn't have his Sujix.
don't believe he
But
did.
I don't think he did either.
And wow. Batmouse drew the Camino site and Panaka for Weapon Destiny and just completely whiffed on everything. That's a feels bad pull. That's a real unpleasant. Like he knows where the Twix is, but that's not what he wanted to draw.
Now, not how he wanted to find that out.
So if he has the brain dead, I could see him use the Kit Fisto here. If he's got the brain dead or the Hujix just to get the draw off Kit Fisto. If not, this might be over quick. So All right, so he is using the draw, so he says I don't need to cancel the Battle Destiny, which tells me he's already got the Hujix or the Brain Dead. Or he was hoping to draw it and taking his last ditch shot. Because Kid is forfeit 0 and he's already down 15 in power. And there's the tentacles, so Matt's definitely running 3 grabbers. All right, Batmouse, here's where it is. There's the walk lane we talked about. That was an unintentional ad. And Matt loses Baron Fell. Makes a ton of sense. He was there for forfeit fodder. There goes Kit and the Jedi Lightsaber and Jedi's Resilience to take Kit back into hand. That's cute. What else are you doing here? And the Hujix. Okay.
Okay. We play on.
I don't. With the Hujix, I think it makes Matt's play, I think, would have been better to take out the throne room. I would have liked to see him just take out the throne room. You hit Mace with Aura, you hit Amidala with Kylo, and just say, let's go. I don't think Batmouse drains here. Cause the 2. We pull the sight with Camino. I might use Navy. He's got the Yularen in hand. Use Navy and put them at Camino and try and turn it into a race. I don't think he's got a better option right now.
Yeah, well, Matt just lost an Emperor's personal shuttle also,
But he knew what he was losing because he lost it off use, so he put it down with.
Oh, he lost off Forlon. Well, then Matt's kind of. I also would read into that Matt's signaling, go to space. Go to space.
Yeah. And Matt might be signaling, look, fine, I will let you have one system. We'll just trade system trades. At some point, Batmouse might feel compelled to try and move in front of Slave 1, and that's going to be where Matt says, okay, we'll do that, but until then, the drain race is about even.
Yeah, and if we're trading evenly and I'm 11 cards ahead in the match, I'm smooth sailing, basically. Don't you think?
This is causing 5 to Matthew's 4.
And now we'll see what Matt does. Because similarly, the throne room isn't exactly in better shape.
No, my internet just completely dropped there for a second and came back. So I see Batmouse deployed the ship and nothing else. And the throne room's not in any better shape for Batmouse, but Matt has 4 less cards because he didn't draw any last turn.
Yeah, but he is at least cycling with Forlom.
Yeah, but you can't go to the throne room with one guy.
It depends what guy it is. You don't think he could go with just a Maul? If he has a Maul and a Phantom Menace?
I'd be a little leery of just Maul and Phantom Menace. You might be able to kill Amidala. You maybe can. I mean, you're only going to hit one of them. You have to hit Amidala, I think, which means Qui-Gon's fully immune. You have to worry that you're potentially getting hit back and your Battle Destiny canceled, and now you're peeling cards. That would go against the plan we talked about, that Matt needs to play it safe. Play it safe right here is Matt dropping a guy at the Dark Forest, dropping an Imperial at the Dark Forest, and just saying, look, let's race.
If he does that, I
You
think he
know,
has to move one of the two EPPs over.
and I wouldn't bother me at all. You drop, let's say, Vader or Emperor there, and you move Aura over there with him. So at one site, you've got Aura, who shoots a Jedi at +1, and the other site, you've got Kylo plus Blizzard Force. You've got a chunk of power. And just tell Batmouse, all right, come get some. I'm draining 6 to your 5 at that point. I'm ahead in the match. Change the math, or this ends my way.
And if that is the tact he takes, I expect he will save his dark times for advantageous battles where he thinks they will have substantive effect on the board state.
So interestingly, Matt only activated 8. Is he?
I wonder if he was just doing that to extend his timer.
Yeah, as a sayers, he did. Like, I can't imagine he knew what was there. He's way better at tracking than me, but again, I'm not.
Oh, well, he did probably know it was there.
Maybe
If
it
he
is.
knows, I believe he's playing multiple control set for Suns. I didn't think it'd be fun if I said this ahead of time.
Well, that sure feels like I'm gonna go beat up your empty capital ship now. Like, there's no reason to do it unless you are planning to jump the ship right now.
Totally agree. You gotta expect he's going there to battle.
And it might well be here's the other Emperor shuttle I had in hand, plus the Emperor, plus Tarkin. Thanks for playing Batmouse. Because, yeah, Resolute's got no immunity to attrition. And yeah, this could end poorly. See the drains of 2. Were you looking for me and Walkling? And then Panaka and Quite a Mercenary. Matt doing a verify again. He's only got 8 cards in reserve. So he did track to that 5 because that was the Tarkin's bounty. So he's tracking right from the get-go, which is definitely the difference between him and me. So I would not have been tracking that this early.
Well, I'm sure he knew he had the Sever Sun, so he was like, let me just make sure I keep track of this thing. And
yeah,
now,
and that could be
as you
well.
said, he lost the shuttle from use after recycling it, and I said I think he might be baiting him there. That means he had the other shuttle.
Yeah. And whether he was baiting him or not, I'm not sure it was a bad play by Anthony. Like, Batmouse had to try and make something happen there. I would have liked to see a second pilot, but without that, I mean, there's just not much you can do. And there's the Ascension guns. A little surprised Matt didn't throw that on something special.
I think
especially knowing he has the tentacle, that Ascension guns can get real obnoxious real quick.
Yeah, I would not have grabbed it. I think waiting for any abusive interrupt is the Ascension's guns is not going to make Anthony win this match.
I'll be honest, I don't think there's anything that's going to make Anthony win this match right now.
No, but if I'm mad, I'm just thinking, what do I have to grab? And Ascension guns is not that.
Yeah. I mean, Batmouse can theoretically cancel 2 of the 3 Battle Destinies. Like, he can't cancel that 3 anyways. So he can cancel the 4. I mean, technically Matt's going to be down a couple force here. But Anthony's going to lose his ship. And if I'm Matt, I think I probably just peel 2.
Oh,
there's no reason to risk losing anything from the ship. Yep, and it's exactly what he's doing. There goes the still coming through, which is a 4. He doesn't necessarily want to be drawing for Battle Destiny anyways. And probably doesn't expect to do much with it, and com scan detection, which also is a card that's fairly dead against WAP. You're not going to see most of those things come into play. And Batmouse has a lot of cards in hand, but I don't know what his plan is here.
It's going to be hard for him to even stay alive in space, which is going to be likely his downfall in this. I think his only chance is somehow to get a beatdown in, knowing the Gik is gone, but that seems like quite the uphill battle.
And I don't know where he's going to try and do it.
That's what I mean. I don't know that Matt's not going to give an opening for that. So,
yeah, like the Emperor's Shuttle's only power 4, and if you save the Force, you might theoretically get no Battle Destinies out of it, but it's got 20 and forfeit on it.
Yeah.
So you're not overflowing there. Zucca's, or Fett and Slave 1's a little bit higher power, but close to equal forfeit. You got 15 and forfeit. So you're in the same range of total power plus forfeit of the two of them. Like, you can't overflow there. You're going to go to the ground. So, and Batmouse revealed Anakin with Galactic Navy to... He's not running 2 Resolutes.
He might have an Azure Angel.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know that I want to run Anakin on the Angel against either one of those ships either, though.
No, I don't disagree, but I think that's the only thing he could have been looking for.
Yeah, and that
or
might
just
be
a way to see what's in his
all I
deck.
can do. Yeah. All right, Anthony. Let's see you pull this out. And he might be contemplating in his head too, does he even have an out at this point? Oh, asking to take another look. Apparently he didn't remember what those 8 cards were, so we'll see.
Well, he might be doing the way you said, and it's like, do I have a path?
Yeah. Well, what's in those 8 cards also tells me what's in those 14. Is there anything I can draw or find that gives me the idea I can pull this out? Or are we just going to call it a day? So I certainly selfishly hope he doesn't pull the call it a day, because it's fun to stream games. So there's the 3PO. Is he running non-V We're Doomed?
It's possible. That's what I was saying, leaving a grabber.
And yeah, Matt snap grabs that if he is. And that would be... You know, I talked about grabbing Ascension guns, and you're like, I don't think I would. And it reminds me, I was chatting in a team with my team today about using cards to their maximum efficiency. Like, it's rare you hit a point where you're like, wow, I'm really glad I played that card then instead of saving it for now, like a grabber or an all wings combo or something like that. And that's exactly what I just advocated for. I just grab something because it annoys you. Like, no, wait until it is the right card to grab. Okay. That's all right. What are you going to do with that now, Anthony?
Yeah, the question will be like, I assume he's gonna battle. He's outpowering him by 7. Maybe not. Nope, he passes.
He might be holding for the. He knows he's going to have to pay 2 for the leadership, so he's holding to see if Matt battles into him first, and he can potentially do the overflow, or not overflow, but force him to lose something, because he is up 7 in power.
But I feel like if I'm Matt, there's no way I battle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I'd be battling if I'm Matt, but again, Batmouse is also thin on options.
Sure. I just think if
So
you're making this play, put the pressure on. Otherwise, you're just sitting here for an extra turn each, basically, before you're actually putting the pressure on him. Matt's happy to
yeah,
be like, you just deployed 2 cards and used your turn and passed me while I do more damage to you.
yeah. No, I'm not debating. I don't love the play. I'm just trying to come up with something that Anthony might be like. If Anthony's thought process is I have 2 leaderships in hand, you put that down, and just like Matt baited him into a play, maybe you hope you can bait Matt into starting a battle where you can be like, all right, I'll pay 2 to leadership, I'll cap your destiny, and now you're going to have to move in front of me and risk eating another leadership right away when I start a battle against Slave One and do the same thing. Like, it's not an ideal play, but that's about the only way that that makes sense is if he's sitting on a couple leaderships where there was no way for him to start a battle, leadership, and then leadership the return battle if Matt starts one. So he's got to sit on this and just eat this train of 4, and that's
Yeah,
not how you're going to win this game.
that's what I'm saying. I think I give every caution you just threw out there, but I'm like, I think if you're trying to win the match, he had to battle.
Yeah, and that might be one of those where, like we talked about the last game, where I think Anthony took his foot off the gas at the wrong time. He just hasn't played WAP enough, hasn't played this matchup enough to know when's the spot you absolutely push the battle and when's the spot you play and try and be a little more reactive. So as he loses Ascension Guns, Sense, They're Tracking Us, and Hear Me Baby Hold Together to the drains of 4. I mean, talk about Batmouse has to win by 12. He's got 18 down and 9 in hand. So he can survive these drains of 4 for about 4 more turns before he's out. And he's not killing Matt in those 4 turns, only doing 3 damage.
Yeah, Matt's got 20 down and 5 in hand.
Yeah, so Matt's got. Batmouse has to figure out a way to ramp up damage here. And I just don't know what his out is, what his plan is to do that. So, because I think you're right. If I'm Matt, I'm certainly not starting a battle. And I'll just stare at you. Like, the upside of the Emperor being forfeit 9 is you just stare at that battle and be like, well, I guess I lose the Emperor. And then on my turn, I'll redeploy him. And there's Grand Admiral Thrawn at the Dark Forest. So it's another drain of 2. With it being Thrawn, I think you move and Dr. Ian Ponda to the Emperor's shuttle as forfeit fodder. Bunches of forfeit fodder. And they move from passenger to pilot slot, allowing him to get 1 more power out of it, 5 instead of 4. He deployed them as a passenger first for everyone watching, because if Anthony had a barrier and he deployed him as a pilot, they would not be providing ability towards drawing battle destiny. You can't add another pilot to the Emperor's shuttle. It would potentially stop Matthew from being able to battle, which he's doing now. Where doing it this way and saying, well, I'll put him as a passenger if Anthony doesn't barrier him, then I'll swap.
He must have
gives him that flexibility.
He must have an hard time. I think
maybe.
so now, for sure. He just pulled oppressive enforcement.
I mean, he already had There's No Tryout.
Sure, but yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so Batmouse grabs that because he has to. And then he pays 2 to leadership and cap him at 1. And Batmouse is saying he hit the pass button the wrong way. He wants to grab that. So let's see how. And Matt, ever the gentleman, says, "Yeah, well, I'll give you a redo. Let's do this." So that's one of those things, kids. Keep your mouse cursor away from the pass button.
Yeah.
But like, it sounds like such a dumb thing to say. Like, do this, but when I'm playing something like an OCS game, something where reverts aren't going to be allowed, I'm not just playing with my friends. I'll intentionally move my mouse away from the pass button so I can't accidentally hit it and be like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that," because then you're definitely relying on the kindness of your fellow player to say, and there's the leadership I was talking about. So, I mean, Batmouse is going to theoretically end this battle up a chunk of power. But if Matt draws decently here, he's still going to cost Batmouse Yularen. And honestly, if he draws a 6 or a 7, he costs Batmouse. If he draws a 7, he costs Batmouse everything. There's a 4, which is going to be Yularen. The ship's only immune to less than 4. This is not looking good for Batmouse. Batmouse does draw a 5, so he's up 7 in power. I think Matt probably loses Dr. Iamponda here. Yep. And then he'll lose 1 because now he can move Tarkin back to that pilot slot.
Yeah, I expect to move him back and then slide somebody over with Thrawn.
Yeah, I would expect either the Walker or Kylo, just to put a little more power there.
I hate not having a weapon at that site, so I would expect Kylo.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the way I'd do it as well, but I can see a case for the Walker, especially you have to have an Imperial presence, so you can't just jump Thrawn into the Walker. So, and we see Matt loses a force from reserve. Why do we even suggest plays? Okay, I don't like that. Matt putting Thrawn on the Walker means that's no longer a drain of 2. Because you do have to have an Imperial present. That being said, I don't know that the drain of 2 is going to make a difference.
Yeah, he might just be fine just getting the 1 in.
1 turn.
He has to come, if he wants to come attack it, Matt has something to forfeit. It's unlikely that Anthony's going to be able to attack that getting more than power 15.
And that might be part of it, is him saying, you know what, I don't need to max out drains. I just need to keep him alive. I'd be more worried, does Batmouse have anything in space? Does he... Well, I mean, we know he's got the Anakin, so maybe. But you're facing down multiple battle destinies that are going to cost you force to cancel. So that might be his out, though, is Anakin as a pilot on the Radiant 7 and Hope. So Matt loses first strike in Phantom Menace. Like, he's got less cards down than Anthony. Like, he's only got 15 cards down now. There's Rick on the Queen's Royal Starship, so he is going heavy power. And that ship's immune to less than 5. So if you're going to play Anakin, I think you play him on the Queen Starship, just for that extra point of immunity.
If he's going for this, I feel like he should play the Anakin.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, barrier. I still would play the Anakin.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, no, I think you still play the Anakin. Like, the question becomes: do you throw Anakin on? Okay. I will reiterate why do we even suggest lines?
Well,
We clearly have no idea what Batmouse is going to do. Why do we try and, I hope the fans at home are learning something as we're discussing options that Batmouse and Matt just flat out ignore.
I don't know if I like playing the saber. Every force
The-
counts at this point, and it's not.
The
that
only
useful.
reason I like it is it gets us a 2 out of the deck, because to avoid overflow, you need to draw good.
But if he draws a 2, he's going to lose 1 force because of Anakin's text.
Yeah,
So it's a wash in that scenario.
but now if he draws anything other than 2, he's got a weapon there threatening if Matt considers going there. Like, I don't think Matt really needs to go there, but he at least has more of a threat if Matt goes there. So there's the 6 for Battle Destiny, which is cute, but is just Thrawn.
Yeah, but the thing is, Matt will probably just move like Kylo over because it's not really. It doesn't benefit him to move more than that, I don't think. And Blizzard 4 should live.
Yeah, and that's. I didn't like that attack mostly because I don't think Anthony's killing both of them. I think Anthony got exactly what he could out of that, which is he killed Thrawn and didn't lose anybody, didn't lose Anakin.
Right, so he deployed 2 cards to kill 1 of Matt's. Like, that's a great trade for
Yeah.
Matt.
I agree. Matt's perfectly happy to have made that trade, and like you talked about, Matt might have put Thrawn in there just to save that. That worked perfectly because Batmouse would have hit Thrawn, and the Battle Destiny would have killed the Walker. Now Matt can move Kylo over and say, "All right, well, I've got good power. I'll stop your drain and let's see what happens."
Right.
So, and by the way, he's still going to hit Anthony for 4 here, which Anthony's down to 23 cards total. So he literally has 3 turns of taking 4 if he deploys nothing before he can't win the match. And in those 3 turns, if he changes nothing, he's only doing 9 damage.
Yeah, Matt only
That's
has
got
1
more
card
than
in
9
hand.
cards.
Matt has
Yeah,
1
I
card
don't
in,
think
so I don't
Matt-
think he'll do much this turn. I anticipate this is going to be a kind of shuffle guys around, draw some cards, and react to exactly what you're saying, which is like,
Yeah.
I don't really need to change the tenor of what I'm doing, so I'm just going to draw for answers or more characters and force you to using more resources because as it stands right now, you can't win.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I don't think Matt. Actually, yeah, here's the Drain of Force. So Batmouse is even farther behind. And there's the It Could Be Worse from hand, and that I think you have to grab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would grab. He may or may not
So-
have Redoomed, but we know he has It Could Be Worse, so let's grab it.
Yep. And I mean, Matt does still have a tentacle in there he might be able to find. I don't
Exactly.
necessarily think he needs to draw anymore. So he's seeing what that bottom card is. I don't think there's anything I'd want it to be that would. Oh, all right. Oh, he 4-longed to get the Vader back because that's what he drew for that Battle Destiny in the last battle. If that's a 6 and he's just going to choke Anakin, like Batmouse might as well shut it down now. That's kind of what it looks like here.
Yeah, I think we are. Watching some weird meta commentary on life.
A heck of a run here, Batmouse. It's over. So, I mean, he can drain for a couple turns and make the end result look a little closer. And if this was round 1 of the match, I would absolutely think he'd do that. I don't know that he's got any other outs here.
I
He
concur. And with
moves-
3 cards in the hand.
Like, honestly, I wouldn't hate moving Kylo to the docking bay and just say, okay, I'm going to completely spread and try and force damage.
we know he
Just
has no
get
gick, or
that
we
end
assume he
game.
has no gick. I personally, I don't know if it's worth the 1 damage versus draw a couple more cards.
And that's exactly what he's doing. He's listening to you. Like I said, there's a case to be made either way. I think Matt's making the more conservative, the smarter play. And just saying, I'm going to sit with this. He saves a few. He may be sitting on another Dark Time combo, which would mean Batmouse can't battle him in space. Like,
Yeah,
that's 4 Destiny up there right now.
if this were the board state in like a one-off game, I agree with your move, Kylo. In this circumstance, I wouldn't expose myself when you're basically like I'm good.
Yeah, you're ahead in damage. Even if nothing else changes, you're doing 4 to Batmouse's 3. And again, you really only need about 2 more turns of that 4.
Yeah,
He's got
which is maybe an
20 cards
argument.
down.
Like, maybe that's an argument is you don't even need to move Kylo. Don't expose yourself to any risk. You're in good position.
Yeah. So, because Batmouse has got to do something here to change the math on causing enough damage to win. Like, there's. And also, if he wants to run away from Camino, it's going to cost him 4. So it's +1 to move each ship. Hopefully, he
may
remembers that.
I was like, it's possible he'll forget that. We'll see.
So Matt loses the tentacle from hand. I think I would have left the tentacle. I would have played the tentacle. Just in case Batmouse does have a We're Doomed. Get in another thing, grab it. Oh, Batmouse says his Destiny are not good. I don't know where he was planning to draw Destiny that would matter, because battling in space seems like a real bad idea. All right, so Unitop for the lightsaber. So he's got Kit Fisto plus a lightsaber. Where are you planning to go with them? Okay.
I feel like this is the style points portion of the game.
Yeah, especially when he said the Destiny won't hit Vader.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, those aren't good. 115. I'm like, all right.
He's like,
So
well,
Matt says Vader lives through this one unless I'm missing something.
Leroy Jenkins, baby.
And maybe Batmouse is saying, you know what, I'll put Kit Fisto there, I'll pay 1 to draw 1, and I'll lose those 2 off the top and see what we get.
Yeah, that's very
If
possible.
Matt
It's better than him
battle.
not contesting the drain.
Yeah, I mean, this way he only gets drained for 2 next turn. So it's not ideal, but he's trying to keep it. He's trying to figure out any possible scrap of getting himself there and leaving Matt open to make a mistake.
Yeah, it gives him some chance of who knows what's going to happen versus, oh, I lose 2 cards to a drain.
Yeah, like I don't think it has a high likelihood of working, and especially if your game plan is I'm going to count on Matt making a mistake. That's not a game plan that I would count on, but it's your only out right now.
Yeah, it's hope is not a strategy.
No, it's so. And Matt's activating. Honestly, I think the question might just be: did Matt play 2 at Dark Times or 1? Because if he's got a second one, I can't think of any reason not to battle in space, draw your 4 battle Destiny, and just obliterate Anthony's hope.
And like I said, I didn't see the final deck list. There were a lot of comments about possible ins and outs, and at times,
Yep.
So I think it's possible he has 2. At one point, he had 1 non-combo, and then at one point, I think he had 2 combo. So him having the combo makes me think it's very likely he has another combo, but we'll see.
And that's one where, you know what? If he had the other combo, I don't know if he had the force to play it when Anthony played the It Could Be Worse. So he would have had to pay 2, because otherwise he absolutely had the force to pay it because he drained. I think I would have used it to cancel the It Could Be Worse if he had it.
Really? I think I would just say I'm grabbing your It Could Be Worse, so it's a difference of 1 damage, you paid 2 force, and the Dark Time, I assume if you're going to play in a battle, hopefully is going to be more impactful than that.
Yeah, could be. I think just, taking Batmouse is I'm going to lose 1 card to the strain of 2 to I'm going to lose 3 to the strain of 2 when you just need to get him down in cards might have been equally worthwhile. I don't think he had it either way as he drops Mara Jade with Lightsaber in front of Kit Fisto and says, I'm just going to go for straight power. Fine, cancel my Battle Destiny. By the way, you're power 5 and forfeit 0. So this might just be it as well.
Agreed. I mean, Matt has not taken the pressure off.
No, and Batmouse already burnt his Hoochix. So Weapon Destiny, we got a 4, and feel like probably more than a 4. Yep. So Kit's hit. Kit's forfeit 0. Anthony's currently down 14 in power. I don't think he's got a 15 there to draw at Battle Destiny.
No, I mean, best case, he probably draws a 5, and he's going to lose 9 cards here.
Yeah. And there's the swing at Vader, which I think is fine. I mean, if you're swinging at anyone there, might as well go for Vader. He does get him even after drawing the Jarrus.
Yeah, and it's like best case, he'll lose 9, assuming he's able to cancel a Destiny.
Yeah. So I'm...
Well, maybe he has the Are You Brain Dead you were talking about. Oh, Clash. All right. Well, that'll bring the power a little more in line.
Yeah. Now he can be, best case scenario, just lose a couple.
So does he have Are You Brain Dead, or were you just...
I'm not sure. That would be a very Batmouse card to put in.
Got it. I didn't know if you knew
you and
one
I
way
have
or the
seen
other.
the deck list. No, it's Batmouse. I'm going to assume that card's in a deck until I see differently.
Fair.
Because that's just a card he puts in a lot of decks. So, and especially in a deck like this that's going to have a bunch of Jedi Council members. It's not necessarily a meta card, but as a one-off in this kind of deck, wouldn't have been a terrible thing. So Batmouse does end up down 9, and we see the GG.
Yeah. Big Brain Matt somehow tracked a 3 to make sure his Battle Destiny got through.
Honestly, it wouldn't shock me.
I know. I'm like only half kidding.
But yep, there's the concede. So Matthew Harrison Trainer goes on to yet another online tournament championship round. Congratulations to MHT. Congratulations to Batmouse on the, making the run. Top 4 is certainly not anything to be ashamed of or sneeze at. So good for him. Thank you, everybody who hung out and watched with us.
Yeah, appreciate y'all coming on. I just pulled this up in case you are interested. The other semifinal match is concluding over on Stubley's Twitch channel. So he is streaming this. I just clicked over as a little tease. We've got Ryan Jelson against Young VZ. And it looks like this is a matchup of ISB versus Luke Saga? Maybe Anakin Saga.
Yep.
Anakin Saga.
Yeah, Anakin.
So switch over to Subs feed if you want to watch this. Thank you for watching with us. Congratulations to MHT. And as Garrett said, great showing by Batmouse. And thank you for joining me on the stream again, Garrett. Enjoyed it.
For sure. Was a blast, man.